Oh, well, how should we be with others? I mean, well, in some sense, ideally, not the way we are. I might meet someone who's a potential partner, and I want them to be longing to be with me. No, that's not the way, is it? I want them to long to have this love of God, delight in being devoted to God. That's what I'm trying to build. In other words, not to what I'm in the habit of doing, bringing my need to the party, but wanting their need to be recognized, which is for the full consciousness of our Heavenly Dad, their Heavenly Dad, so that they transcend. Do you see, we tend to be self-focused narrowly on our own welfare in the mix of it being their welfare. Whereas, unquestionably, the ideal is that their welfare is recognized to be in thankfulness to God and the full awareness of His presence in their life. That they need no other. They don't need me to make their life complete as they might fancifully take it to be. And neither do I need them to be in mine. What we need is this devotion to God. And then we will be truly good friends. For we will be truly always most concerned that this is our relationship to our Heavenly Dad. All of us. Not their relationship, say, to myself, or mine to them, but truly in fellowship, always ready to encourage them to be fully aware of their true need, to be aware, to be conscious, to be devoted to our Heavenly Dad, their Heavenly Dad, and me, my Heavenly Dad. And in the expectation, yes, that will become the same, but that it won't be to begin with, or rather isn't yet, and that's why we're in this world. But when we come to being devoted to our Heavenly Dad, well, I think it's the case, and I trust, of course, that all the faster, all the more efficiently, we come to know Him as He knows we should know Him, in joy and fullness of life and fellowship with Him, that we may be a blessing to all and encourage likewise such relationship in all those we meet. So we become a blessing instead of chains. we become a freedom for others to love God instead of a distraction to be devoted to us, ourselves. Do you see what I mean? I'm come that you might have life, not misguidance into a primacy of relationship with me, but with your God. Your God. Not even, not even my God, but your God as you see God. And certainly I am an example of loving my God as I see my God. But it will only be in as far as they can recognize and see such. But what we want them to know in their heart, it's true, is that God, their God is in fact their dad and loves them to bits. Because we probably believe, well I do anyway, that that is what will bless them the most. So yes, I want them to have that as well, of course, in a sense. But I know they must come in their own way, through loving their God. And yes, certainly I hope that they come to love him as their dad, heavenly dad. But that's, in some sense, in God's hands. I'm just there to be example of the way. Should it bless them? Do you see? I mean, obviously I have my view of my God and trust in all my heart that this is the way. But I'm trusting that he shows me the fullness of such in some sense that I don't fully have yet. And in that sense I want the same for them too. So yes, I look for those that have ears to hear. But I don't wish to enchain such. I wish to bless them in the freedom of knowing their God. Is that right? What do you think? In other words, I don't want to hound them with my view of God. But I do want to be a blessing to them in that they do see God as their heavenly dad and find completeness in this relationship between them and God. And true, I'm thinking of my God because I can only think of him in this way at the minute. But at the same time I know well, I do want to bless them in that they have the same view of God as I have, in the sense of being their heavenly dad. But I don't want to enslave them in some relationship that will distract them from such. I just offer it as I just offer my view of God where they wish to hear. And yes, I do so want it to be a blessing to them. But as for relationship, I want them to have it with God. That's my primacy. Not their relationship with me. And yet I do want to bless them. To be that blessing. And I do want to be wonderful, faithful, encouraging fellowship. But not that it excludes their relationship with God, far from it. Far, far from it. But rather that it encourages greatly, overwhelmingly, well, wonderfully, put it that way, delightfully. And that my relationship and theirs with me is consistent with that, not contrary to that.